welcome to the channel Fusing Music. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about the topic called combustion and flame. So combustion and flame. So there is a very basic thing. In day-to-day life, we come across the thing called a fire, which is used for cooking the food and making coffee. Without fire, we can't do anything. Since the civilization starts from the identification of fire or invention of fire. So from an old Stone Age, once after the invention of fire only, the civilization gets developed. So there's an important topic to learn. So first we discuss about the combustion and flame. What is the difference, basic difference between the combustion and the flame? So combustion is nothing but to understand the combustion, take a piece of coal or wood. So you burn with the help of candle. So the wood or coal burn with the help of a candle, which produce the light in the presence of air. So this is called a chemical process. A chemical process, the substance reacts with oxygen, that is the presence of air, and it produces heat and light. So this is the process of combustion. When you take about the flame, during the burning, the substance get evaporate or vaporized. So the vaporized substance which produce a flame. So this is the basic difference between the combustion and the flame. So combustion, during the burn process, the chemical process is going to be take place. But in the case of flame, during the burning process, the vaporization of fuel gets a flame. So the example for the combustion material, coal, wood, and the example for the flame is the kerosene, oil, and molten wax. So let us have a detailed discussion, the basic properties and everything about the combustion and the flame. So first we take the combustion. So as I already told, that the chemical process is the chemical process in which substance reacts with the presence of oxygen and which produce the heat and the light is a combustion. So one of the best example to understand the combustion is if you're able to do an activity like take a candle and a piece of wood, burn the piece of wood in a candle, so the wood get burned, which produce the light and heat. So the material which get burned is called a combustible material. So it's also otherwise called as a fuel. So here some of the examples for the combustion materials are wood, coal, LPG, kerosene. So the substance which burn in the air is called the combustible material. So now you understand the difference between the combustion and the combustible material. So the substance which burn or chemical process is a combustion. During the chemical process, the substance which get burned is a combustible material. The example for the combustible material is wood, coal, LPG, and kerosene. So these are all the examples for the combustion material. Now the air is necessary for the burning. So as I already told that for in the chemical process, the combustion is nothing but a chemical process reacts with the air, which produce the heat and light. So the air is necessary for the burning. So we can easily understand the air is necessary for burning by doing this activity. So take a glass chimney and a candle. So in the case A, just see that in this case A, so we have a beaker, glass chimney, and in between the wooden plate and the glass chimney, we place a piece of wood. So over the piece of wood, we raise the glass chimney. So during this process, the air gets flow from downward to upwards in this direction. So in the presence of air, the candle get burns very nicely without any difficulty. But in the case of B, here just we remove this small wooden pieces, so that there is no possibilities of air inlet towards a beaker. So with the absence of air, what is the amount of air presented in the glass chimney? So with the help of that oxygen, it's get flickered. So the flames, the candle get stop burning and get flickered in the case of P. But in the case of C, just over below the candle and over the glass chimney, we have a wooden piece. Just close the glass chimney with below and above the glass chimney with the help of the wooden pieces. So there is no absence of air inside the glass chimney. So because of the inavailability of air, the candle does not burn. So from these three cases, case A and case B, case C, we understand the importance of air. So without air, the chemical process is not take place. So the combustion is also not take place. So in the case A, the air inlet from the below the glass chimney to above in this direction, so the candle get burned nicely. And in the case B, the availability of air is there is a deficiency of air, so the glass inside the glasses, the candle not able to burn properly. But in the case of case C, due to the inavailability of air, the candle get off. So this shows the importance of air. So without air, the candle will not glow. So it means that from this activity we understand the presence of air is important for the burning or combustion. So the next parameter for proper combustion is the ignition temperature. Ignition temperature. So we know that temperature is nothing but during the heat process we have an increase in temperature. So here what do you mean by ignition temperature? To understand the ignition temperature, we can easily understand with the help of this activity. So but during the activity, be careful since we have to deal with the fire. So take a piece of candle. So in that candle, first you take a piece of paper. So the piece of paper get easily burned with the help of candle. Now the second thing is, inside the paper pour some water and then heat the paper with water with the help of candle. So the second activity, the paper get not burned as easy as possible. The reason is, in the case 1, we directly burn the paper to the candle. So there is a the minimum temperature which requires to the paper get fire is a minimum temperature. But in the case of second cases, we have water inside the paper. So due to the presence of water, what happened when the candle gets burned over the paper? Here, the inside the paper we have some water. So what is the property of water? Once the candle gets burned, the property absorbs the temperature. So the minimum temperature required for burning the paper will not attained in the case of second activity. So that the minimum temperature is also important for ignition for a combustion. So ignition temperature is nothing but a minimum temperature required to ignite the things or burning the things. So in the case of first activity, we directly burn the paper without water. So the minimum temperature easily attained, so that it gets burned. But in the case of second cases, with the help of burn the paper with water, the water absorbs the heat. So the minimum temperature will not obtained by the paper. So it takes some time to get burned. So this is the ignition temperature. From this activity, you can easily understand the ignition temperature. So the ignition temperature is the minimum temperature at which the substance catches the fire or burns. That is the ignition temperature. Some of the material like petrol, alcohol, LPG get easily catch the fire with very low temperature. So even at the room temperature, it then gets burned. So such a substance are called a inflammable substance. So the example for the inflammable substance are petrol, alcohol, LPG. These are all the examples for the ignition, very low ignition temperature, which can easily catch the fire. So from this three activity, we understand that what are the conditions necessary for the combustion. The first thing is the fuel. Fuel is the important thing. The fuel maybe is in the form of three forms. Either it may be in the form of solid, or it may be in the form of liquid, or it may be in the form of gases. So we discuss about the three types of fuel: solid, liquid, gases in the upcoming slides. Now, the first necessary condition: without fuel, we are not able to do the combustions. Say for example, in a campfire, without firewood, we are not able to ignite the campfire. So the fuel here, the fuel is a wood. And second thing is the supply of oxygen. So from the activity candle and the chimneys, we can easily understand without the presence of air, the combustion will not in a proper manner. And the third one is the ignition temperature, a minimum temperature which needs to catch the fire. So for example, during the if you are going for a camp and you are going to enjoy, you are willing to enjoy the campfire. So in the campfire, if you use a wet firewood, the wet firewood not able to catch the fire as easy as possible. So the ignition temperature is also the important thing. So the three parameter which is necessary for a combustion: first thing is the fuel, second thing is the air supply, and third thing is the ignition temperature. So without any one of this parameter, the combustion is not in a proper manner. So now we understand what is the combustion. The combustion is the chemical process which produce in the presence of air, which produce the heat and the light. For a proper combustion, we need three things. One is your fuel, second one is your continuous supply of oxygen or air, and the third one is your ignition temperature. So which is the minimum temperature required to catch the fire. And if the fire happens, so for example, how to control the fire, as already we understand, the three things are necessary for your combustion: fuel, air, and heat. So if you cut any one of the things, then the fire will be controlled. Say for example, a fire accident happen in your workstation or in a petrol station. So what they are doing, first we call upon the fire engine. The fire engine will come and they spray the water in order to control the fire. So in that action, what they will do, so in this action here they are spraying the water to the forest fire. So when we spray the water to the forest fire, here we increase the ignition temperature. That is, from the activity 2, a wet paper burned in the candle, it takes some time to catch the fire. The reason is the water absorbs the temperature. So when we spray the water towards the fire, the ignition temperature get increases. When the ignition temperature get increases, it controls the fire. In the second thing, here we are going to control the fire with the help of the fire extinguisher. So in this fire extinguisher, we use a carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide surrounds the substance. The carbon dioxide is the heaviest material compared to the heaviest gas compared to that of your oxygen. So the heaviest gas, carbon dioxide, covers the substance. So the supply of oxygen will be cut on here. So either we have to cut out the supply of oxygen, or we have to increase the ignition temperature, or we have to cut off the fuel. So if you cut off any one of these three parameters, the fire can be controlled. So in a fire accidents, so we have to do a basic three things: either we have to cut off the fuel, or we have to cut off the air, or we have to cut off the, or we have to increase the ignition temperature. So this is the three way to control the among these three parameters. We have to cut out any one of the parameter, then the fire can be controlled as easy as possible. So here we have two types of controlling the fire, two methods: by using the water and by using the carbon dioxide. So in fire extinguisher we use the carbon dioxide. So as I already told that by spraying the water towards the fire, it increases the ignition temperature, so the fire can be controlled by using the carbon dioxide. So when we using the carbon dioxide, here here a person use the fire extinguisher against the fire accident. So here in the fire extinguisher, the most thing is the carbon dioxide. So when the carbon dioxide covers the fuel, the continuous supply of oxygen is get cut off. Since as I already told the carbon dioxide is the heaviest gases, the fuel is covered with the carbon dioxide. So the supply of oxygen to the fuel gets cut off, so that the fire can be controlled as easy as possible. So these are all the two methods to control the fire. And then we have three types of combustions. So we already understand the combustion. For a combustion we have three things: fire, sorry, fuel. Second one is a gas supply, and third one is the ignition temperature. So based on that, we classify the combustion into three categories: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. So rapid combustion is nothing but in our day-to-day life, if you want to cook up, if you want to prepare a coffee, we have to ignite the gas stove. So in a gas stove, just open the LPG and just ignite the immediately. Once you rub the fire stick, immediately we have the LPG gas gets burned. So this type of combustion is a rapid combustion. Sir. The substance burns rapidly, immediately with the help of the external heat. The example is the burning of LPG is a rapid combustion. The second one is the spontaneous combustion. So to understand the spontaneous combustion, without any external heat, without help of any external heat, which can be ignited. So one of the example is the phosphorus. So the phosphorus burns spontaneously at room temperature. Or we take another example called white phosphorus. So the white phosphorus, which was placed in a water, then there is no reactions. Once the white phosphorus gets dried, the with the presence of room temperature, the white phosphorus ignition temperature is very low. So with the help of the room temperature itself, it's get burned. So such a burning or combustion is called a spontaneous combustions. And the third one is a explosion. Explosion is a, so here we use a cracker. The cracker applies the this explosion, that is the suddenly the combustion, which is combustion of substance burns suddenly, produce the heat, light and sound. So this explosions happens under the heat or pressure. So by applying a heat or by applying the pressure, this explosion occurs. So we have three types of combustions. We have one is a rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosions. The next one is a flame. So as I already told that the flame is nothing but a during the combustion process, during the combustion material, the combustion of combustible material, the vaporization of the fuel produce the flame. Example, wax, kerosene, coal and charcoal, these are all the substance. During the burning, it gets evaporated or vaporized, so the vapor produce the flames. So this is a flame. There is a structure of flame. So in a structure of flame, we have a three region. The three regions are outermost region and the innermost region, outermost region, middle region, and then the innermost region. So these are the three regions we have. So in this three region, we will discuss the things. Outermost zone. The outermost zone is the outermost zone. The outermost zone is the complete combustion of fuel. That is, once the candle get burned, the candle get vaporized. So the vaporized air get completely combustion in the outermost region of the flame. So which is a bluish in color, and the middle part is a partial combustion of fuel. That is, once the wax get vaporized, it's partially combusted. So which is a middle zone, which is yellow in color, and the inner zone is the unburned vapor. So unburned vapors is the inner zone. So here, out of this three zone, outer zone, middle zone and inner zone, the inner zone has a minimum temperature, and the middle zone has a moderate temperature, and the outer zone has a high temperature. So the heat is, the outer zone has a higher amount of heat compared to that of your inner zone. So this is the structure of candle flame. And as I already told that we have three types of fuels: solid fuels, liquid fuels and gaseous fuels. So the fuels, example for the solid fuel is wood, charcoal, coal, and the liquid fuels are kerosene, petrol, diesel. These are all the example for the liquid fuels. Gaseous fuels are LPG, biogas, hydrogen. So among this, these are all the examples for the three types of fuels. So a good fuel has these are all the main characteristics of the good fuels. First, it's readily available. So when we talk about the solid or liquid or gaseous fuels, it's readily available. Petrol or diesel or LPG gases, is readily available. And the second thing, it is cheap in nature. But third one is it is easy to store and transport. So we can easily store the solid fuels like wood, charcoal. We can easily store the petrol. We can easily store the LPG gas stove. So it's easily stored. And the fourth one is burn at the moderate rate. So you should not burn in a vigorous manner, or you should not burn in a slowest rate. So the burning rate should be in a moderate. And the fifth one is producing a large amount of heat. So among this solid, liquid, and gases, all the three produce a large amount of heat. Since the heat is a necessary thing for combustion, the ultimate output is a heat. These are all the some basic characteristics of the good fuels. And the burning of, that is the amount of heat energy produced by a 1 kg of fuel is a calorific value. So based on the calorific value only, the efficiency will be measured. So if the calorific value is high, the efficiency is high. That is the here the contradiction is for a lower amount of fuel, we need to produce a high calorific value. So that is the highest efficiency. In case if you use some 10 kgs of firewood and we produce some 600 or 6000 amount of kilojoule per kg, then it should be not a high efficiency. So for a lower substances, we have to achieve a higher calorific value. So here some of the calorific values are given for the different substances. For a wood, it is a solid fuels which have a 17,000 to 22,000 of kilojoules per kg, and coal 25,000 to 33,000, petrol 45,000, kerosene 45,000, diesel 45,000, methane 50,000. So among this, the hydrogen has the highest calorific value. So it means that for a lower amount of hydrogen, we can able to produce a high calorific value. So this is the efficiency. So at last we come to the conclusions. So in this sessions or in this topic, we learn what is the combustion. So combustion is nothing but a chemical process. So without the presence of air, heat, the combustion will not take place. And then we discuss about the ignition temperature. Ignition temperature is the lowest temperature at which the combustion material catch the fire. So and then inflammable substance, we discuss about some inflammable substance. The example for inflammable substance are petrol, petrol is one of the best example for the inflammable substance. At lower ignition temperature, it easily catches the fire. And then we discuss about how to control the fire. So to control the fire, either we have to remove the fuel, or we have to remove the continuous flow of air, or we have to remove the or increase the ignition temperature. So by this three way we can control the fire. And then we discuss about the types of combustions: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. And at last we discuss about the flame and the structure of flame. So thank you for watching.